know, right? Welcome, everybody.
Jacob,
to episode...
can you put some pants on?
Oh, excuse me.
God, I know
Getting
you're
too big for his britches.
Well, I mean, clearly he's not that big.
Clearly, I'm wearing pants.
Right.
Anyways,
I know you're
welcome
excited
to episode 10,
No.
11,
12.
12.
13.
We lost count.
Let me check.
We lost
check.
count.
I'm
Totally
checking
12.
right now.
We should have.
It
Oh
is
my fucking god.
This is totally 12.
Well, it's 10:31 at
Episode
night.
Jacob
11.
tired,
Just-
apparently.
No way.
Yeah.
I am not tired,
Last episode
especially with my
Jacob's a
wonderful
big
cup
baby
of
bitch.
coffee that I have. Or should I say cup of cream with the side of coffee.
Yeah, man.
This is episode 11.
Alright, so this is episode
What I
11,
thought.
everyone. We
Bunch
have
of
myself,
bums.
Bierman, with Jonathan, Ben, Peter.
What's up?
And we also have our special guest, Natia.
Ooh, what's up?
Welcome to hell.
Oh my god.
It's only help for you, Jacob.
Yeah,
absolutely.
alright, so Bierman is on probation right now.
Yeah.
He's been
You're
on
on
real
thin fucking ice, buddy.
You're on thin fucking ice.
Look,
Big
I've...
dick.
You have
Yeah.
been
With
not
the capital
responding
between
to
the
the group
getting
chat.
drunk in a group chat.
Oh my god.
Wait.
Not being helpful when
Oh,
we need
yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah.
Sending random memes while we're in the middle of a conversation and disrupting.
They're not even
and-
good memes. They're not even good memes.
Okay,
Stupid
but you're
and
out
then
of
afterwards,
context.
and then afterwards, not responding to the question that we asked in the first place. Just sending the memes and popping out. You know, it's
Well,
fine.
you know, sometimes I gotta work. Sometimes
Being
I'm just tired.
snarky.
Sometimes
Excuses. So
You know
you're on
what?
probation.
We've
You know
heard
what?
enough about your
I'm
fucking
sorry.
job.
We've already made a decision. It's too late. We already made a
The
decision.
worst
Alright.
part is
One
that
month.
I'm not
You're,
sorry.
you're in timeout.
All right, cool. So moving on
Get
to
out.
coffee.
Get out.
His host privileges for the month.
Get out.
All right, everybody,
Moving-
welcome back to the Night Owls podcast. Sorry, I don't know
What the fuck are you?
He's
All
the
right,
host.
moving on. We got coffee.
what. Look
for
at
the-
me.
Cough.
Look at me.
We got coffee.
I am the host now. Sorry.
All right, what's the coffee, Jonathan?
Okay, so the coffee is called Black Coral, and it's from the Cayman Islands. I was just there a week ago or two.
Humble brag.
Yeah, no,
Those cookies
brush my
are
shoulder
smack.
a little bit.
I don't make the rules.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry. I'll do better.
Don't have such good cookies in your fucking house.
All
That's
right.
not my fault. I don't make the rules.
I'm
You
trying to
gotta
talk
do
about
that.
my coffee,
These
gosh.
damn good cookies over here.
Darn
I
it.
need those motherfuckers.
This is why the coffee review is too long.
Okay, all right. So, I was in the Cayman. So this coffee actually has a bit of a. Stop spitting on Jacob. we have a.
Dude,
I'll
that's-
just
that's
die.
probably that's probably the most fucked line we've ever had on this podcast. Stop spitting at Jacob.
That's the
That's the title.
That pretty
Anyway,
much just sums up
Guys,
this whole
come
fucking
on.
episode.
All right, this coffee has an emotional roller coaster story behind it.
ready.
Okay?
Okay.
So I was in the Caymans. I was like, damn, yeah, just quick buckle in. All right. So I was in the Caymans. I was like, damn, I need to get some coffee for the boys. You know, stat, pronto, ASAP. So
Rocky. Get home ASAP, Rocky. It was a rocky week. Or whatever the fuck it was. It was terrible. I'm sorry.
Why?
anyway.
We're not allowed to sip yet.
I'm not.
So I was like looking at let's all take a sip and I can tell the story. While
as we
we
sip.
all
We
right,
gotta
well,
clink.
everybody
Yeah,
clink.
Jacob, take a sip. Take a big old sip of
Yeah,
that.
Alright.
fun backstory with my coffee. When I was pouring in the cream. Pierre decided to pour it for me, and poured half the fucking carton into my coffee. So let's see how this tastes.
That was quite the start. though.
Jacob's about to pass out. GG,
Jacob, how was it?
That's a lot of fucking cream.
Really?
So
I didn't look like you put that much in.
Dude, that's straight up not good.
It's god awful.
Like, you can barely taste the coffee.
You
Is there any
can't.
sugar?
There is no sugar.
There's no sugar.
There is only cream.
It's got little like particulates in it.
Yeah,
The coffee.
that's the coffee cream.
That's not right.
No.
Try some,
I
Natia.
guess I have
Can
to
I
now.
try some of yours? Like
commercial
the actual
mug.
fucking
Oh my god,
coffee?
Peter had his fingers in it.
We're all family. We're all family.
Oh my god, okay.
Okay, that tastes good.
No, this doesn't taste
Oh my god.
All right, so
Tastes like the dishwasher.
I was.
That's what it was.
Wait.
Maybe one or two in my day.
Yeah, it's time to have a talk. I thought
Okay.
you were social with
We're doing a coffee review, not a dishwasher review, Natia.
So-
I don't know what kind of
Wrong
podcast you.
podcast.
So
What kind of-
clearly, when it comes to my cup of coffee, that's got to be a 0 out of cream.
All right, I'm telling my story. Gosh, darn it.
You
Okay.
needed the coffee stat.
Okay, so I need the coffee stat,
What a mess.
and I was just like, I was asking like people at the hotel. I was just asking locals, you know, like where's the best place to go get coffee, and everybody was telling me this one place called Cafe del Sol. So I was like, all right, everybody's recommending me this place. It's got to be great. So I went, I got the coffee.
Shit.
I was like, wow, this is actually really good, and I was like buying the beans to bring home, and I was like, yeah, by the way, where do you guys make this? And she's like, oh, fucking like Georgia or something. I'm like, oh, well, if I wanted coffee from Georgia, I just would have gotten it at home.
Not
So I'm
at this
like,
exotic island.
I need to go, exactly, I need to go somewhere else. So I asked around some more. I got a place called Island Naturals. Went there one morning, tried the coffee. It was bomb. It was pretty good. I was like, all right, I'm going to pick this shit up.
Great.
It was amazing.
Beautiful.
That's a one spicy meatball. Anyway,
Really fucking good.
yeah. So I was there. The coffee was great, and I was like, "Yeah, could I get some of this coffee?" And
Bless your
the guy was like, "Yeah, sure. What are you
heart.
gonna use it for?" I'm like, "Oh, well, I got a podcast back at home." And he stops me. He's like, "Wait, if you got a
Oh, that's
podcast back at home and you're bringing coffee back for the podcast, then you should get something like that's exotic." And I'm like, "That's exactly what I'm looking for. Is this not what this is right here?" And he's like, "No, this is brewed somewhere else." I don't remember what he said, but he recommended me this place called Paradise Coffee, and that is where I got this. And I went there and I
an
got the
adventure.
coffee, and it's great. And it's so the coffee we're drinking is 30% Colombian, 70% Brazilian beans.
Oh.
And it's
Love
roasted.
those Brazilians.
Yes, it's roasted.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
It's
You still
roasted.
talking about coffee?
Sure.
It's roasted.
Brazilian dishwashers.
Fuck me, Jack.
Oh my god.
I didn't
So
know that
it's
occupation mattered.
it's roasted in the Caymans, and I picked some up and I brought some. It's called Black Coral. It's a dark coffee. And yeah, sorry for that long ass story, but I just
No, that was a good story.
Yeah.
It's quite the adventure. So,
so Bierman.
I'm sure it's
coffee
not too
review.
long for you, Jacob.
Yeah, Bierman. Thought you liked it. Never mind. What?
all right. So
Ben, did you?
clearly,
I didn't say anything.
What?
This is
Oh, okay.
probation.
I'll definitely rate my. I'll definitely rate my cream with a side of coffee as 0 out of 5. However, I was able to try, some good sips of the actual coffee, and I got to say that was actually really fucking good. I definitely give it a. Damn, I want to say a 5 out of 5. Like that was really good.
5 stars out of 5.
Bold. I think it
Bold.
tasted so good after you drank that piece of shit.
Yeah, this is like anything when it takes a 5 out of 5. I could have given you like toilet water and be like, ah, yes, perfect.
Refreshing.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Really just hits the spot.
You could have given him dishwasher.
Yeah.
See, it could've
I'll
showed
loan you
something.
some.
Oh, you have a collection.
Nah. Let's stop this right now.
All right.
Counter clock.
Pardon, Mike. Sorry.
So
Am I going next?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's your turn.
Yeah, not to suck my own dick, but I made a pretty good cup of coffee. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really doubt in the.
Did you brew it?
No, but I
So
put in.
John-
Did you,
made a
did you
good cup of
grow? Did
coffee.
you grow these beans?
Did you?
No, but you're taking all the credit.
I added on to an already great coffee and made it even better.
here, let me add you some of this.
Yeah. Let me try your shitty coffee. No, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I would give it like
It's
I don't
me.
know, 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5 stars for you.
Sorry.
You're good.
Okay. All right. Natia.
Well, considering I haven't had coffee in like a long time, this is something that like when I did drink coffee, I would definitely like drink on the daily.
Mhm.
So like I give it a 4 out of 5. I think it's pretty darn good. Plus a little bit of coconut sugar. Makes
Oh
it
yeah,
great.
you. So who all added the coconut sugar?
I
Ben.
think just Ben and I.
Oh, okay.
Because
So-
we're
'cause
I
you
don't know
were-
why I didn't
You were
do
gonna
that.
initially just drink your tea, right?
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
drink tea.
We'll have you back on and we'll do a tea review.
Yeah.
I'll do a
but
tea
that'd
review
be
with you.
great.
I've got some mango tea from Algeria in Africa.
Nice.
Ooh,
I have to try that. I
It's
brought.
really
that sounds
good.
pretty cool.
It's very good.
That sounds pretty cool.
And it's not herbal, it's actually caffeinated. It's
Oh,
really
that's
good.
nice. Yeah, I brought. I can't remember exactly which one. It's across the room, but
You're gonna
Um,
drink that.
Hmm?
I'm sorry.
it's from Hawaii, and
No.
it's pretty. It's very like floral and fruity. It doesn't taste like a tea. But I brought the coconut sugar because it has almost like a molassesy quality, so I think it goes pretty well with the coffee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really surprised. Actually, no, I'm not surprised. It's as good as it is, but I'm satisfied with how it is. I think it's really good. Probably like a 4 out of 5 for me. 4 out of 5 stars. I really like the fact that it's like roasted in the Caymans. It's from Brazil and Colombia.
Very
the
foreign.
people at Paradise Coffee were really nice. The lady that helped me find it was very nice. Yeah, it was pretty dope. And I forgot to ask where the beans were from. Like, I knew they were like roasted in the Caymans, but I forgot to ask where the beans were from. And so I emailed one of the guys, and they told me after the fact. But yeah, I'd say like 4 out of 5 stars.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. It's strong, definitely.
Mhm,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I didn't add a ton of that coconut sugar just because I've never had it before. But it's good. It's definitely, like, cuts through the cream and the coconut sugar.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like it. I'd probably give it 4 out of 5.
Yeah, nice.
Hell yeah, bro.
This is why you're on probation.
That's exactly why I'm on probation.
You
So,
simply can't talk.
we
Oh,
have
job.
quite the
Okay.
topics for
Natia,
this
I don't
week.
think I ever asked you what your topic was.
I didn't either. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So,
Do you have a topic?
Not really.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's fine. So,
Natia! God damn it!
so we do have,
Flip the table.
aside from Natia,
Whatever.
I'm kidding. We got
It's a
some.
first.
We have some amazing topics. We got guns. We got Spooderman. We
got outer space.
we got some space shit. Like we're pretty. So who wants to go?
And
fir-
weed.
And weed.
Oh, dude.
Let's not
All
forget about.
that.
Thank you, resident stoner.
No way. Not me.
No
Snacks
way.
and laughs only.
All right. So who would
Really
like to
encouraged.
start us out?
I want to find some quotes from my article.
I'll start first. I'll start first.
All right.
Okay.
Let's start with some good old Texas.
So,
I want to go home. I
Thank
want
you,
to go
Sammy.
home.
so,
Hey,
hey,
man, you can't start off a great SpongeBob quote and not end it.
Do
I'm
you
sorry.
think everyone from Texas is dead?
So,
Tangent.
recently, Texas legalized hemp, and in doing so, they've accidentally legalized
Marijuana.
weed because they're
Dumb, stupid Bible thumpers.
yeah right. Well, the problem that law enforcement is having is it's expensive to test the difference between hemp and weed, and they can't really do it because they don't have the funds for that sort of equipment.
Yeah.
And when the law was like being passed, all of the like law enforcement was like, "Hey, we need this if you're gonna pass this law," and like it got no media coverage and no one really cared, and it went through anyway. And now a lot of like low-level drug charges are just going through because they can't tell if it's legal or not, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, we're
The
on
level of incompetency.
Yeah, well, we're on the road to full legalization of recreational and medical because I mean, there's just so much money in it. Honestly, I mean, it's an industry that's going to be booming for the next 40, 50
If
years.
you tax weed, think about the amount of money.
Do you know what the tax is in Colorado? I think it's like 20.
Oof, dude.
Damn.
That's hefty.
Yeah, but I mean,
Considering that is like
it's good shit. For lack of a better term, I mean, it's.
I mean,
It's worth it.
from personal,
From personal
experience, I believe.
Peter.
Why y'all gotta put me on the
Beerman.
spot like that?
Beerman. I don't think you can.
You can't talk. You can't hear baked out of the asshole.
We're just gonna say it. All right.
All right.
What?
Well, I don't
This is
know
why
what
you're
you're
gonna
talking
be
about.
on military probation.
That didn't happen.
All right. So moving
I'll
on.
fix it in post.
Better fucking fix this shit in post.
Don't fix it in post.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll put up.
Should Jacob get court-martialed? Don't forget to smash the like button. Tap that bell, baby.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Never mind.
Well,
Oh, we cannot cut this. It's fucking funny.
well, there goes my career.
You work for schooling anyway.
Don't worry. It's not like your fucking general
corporate
listens to our podcast or anything because you recommended it to him.
No, it's not like I recommended
Sends it
this
to
to the
the
people
general
I
line.
know.
Yeah, exactly.
Spearman,
So we have
it's not our
to
fault you decided to go be a narc. I want to work for the government. Narc.
The fuck?
I love you.
Work for a white supremacist.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Huh?
Nah, but moving on.
So I think it's okay. I think it's funny as fuck that these stupid Bible thumper politicians that hate fucking weed and love sticking their dick in the Bible in Matthew 20:24.
Dude, we're really reeling in.
Are
the
now
hatred
are
today.
they've unintentionally legalized weed. I think that's funny as fuck to me.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious, dude. I just
Maryland also passed a law where they can't search you if you have smell.
yeah, but that's like more on purpose.
Yeah, I actually think
Yeah.
like
Make you feel good, doesn't it, Peter?
Nah. Yeah.
yeah. Like
Sometimes.
so jokes aside though,
Only between Friday and Sunday.
so jokes aside, people can't be arrested for like low possession charges now, and I think like that's actually a good thing because marijuana right now is a Schedule 1 drug, and which means it's like on the same level as cocaine according to the government.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think we can all agree that that's just wrong. So low-level possessions of marijuana, I think, should not be treated the same way as low-level possessions of cocaine.
Yeah.
Right? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Cocaine charges $3,000, and what people have nowadays is dab pens, and they're the same exact charge. I mean, that's $3,000. It's ridiculous.
It is
Stupid.
For
yeah.
something that you're not gonna do that much because you understand the effects of it. Once you know what your limits are.
Yeah,
You're
most
not gonna
people.
try and push them. You're just trying to get relaxed.
It's like alcohol. Like you have to be responsible
Yeah.
with it.
Exactly.
And not everybody knows the responsibilities.
But they'll
that's,
learn it.
Right. I mean,
the
that's
problem is-
the
They
thing.
don't always learn it. Sometimes they almost die in a bathroom in a party.
But if we're going to,
I had my favorite pair of pants that night. I was so mad.
oh my god, if we're gonna treat alcohol and weed the same way, then we should expect the same kind of responsibilities from people, and we should also expect that some people are not going to take
Yeah.
it seriously. And if we can't expect that for weed, then why do we expect it from alcohol?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, there definitely should be like a legal age involved and like that sort of thing.
Yeah, there's like a legal age in Colorado, isn't there?
21.
Yeah,
21?
LA too.
And recreational you can apply for. I think it's I'm sorry, not recreational. What?
Nothing.
Would you like to glare at me any harder?
I was thinking about something.
I bet.
What were you thinking about?
What did you share, Beerman?
Well,
It was a dishwasher.
Colorado dishwashers. No, but Colorado 21.
What?
I don't understand what you're
The
mean.
math symbols are going
Talking
past
about
his
how
head
Peter's
right now.
not 21 and got weed in Colorado.
Is that what you're surmising here?
Yes, exactly.
Well,
Why don't you?
Because
We had this argument earlier. Why don't you just speak English?
Because why would I speak English when I can just not?
Well, you are on. Never mind.
Okay.
You are-
Well, anyways.
Just no point.
We'll fix it up. This is fine.
What the fuck was I even talking about?
Responsibility, weed, alcohol. We were on that train.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. It's,
Okay.
Y'all, man.
I literally completely my train of thought is gone, and now
And this is what happens when you smoke too much weed, children.
that is not what happens.
I'm kidding.
So-
What happens, never mind.
So the politicians.
He's researched it.
You'll feel a slight tingling in your stomach, and then you're fucked.
Right.
Politicians
Bro,
teleportation.
Yes. Which is why
Tell
we
me I'm
need someone
wrong.
like
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me.
Oprah Winfrey as our
You
president.
just spilled coffee.
Fuck, I'm sorry. I was just trying to. Dude, I was.
Why
Do you
would
want
you
some more?
No, I'm okay.
Can we please videotape this because this is a fucking mess?
Lean his cup over sideways.
We need fucking vote for fucking Oprah or else Russell spilled his fucking coffee.
Moving on.
Oh my god. So the politicians were like warned by like police and shit, and they just didn't listen.
That's my general understanding. Is they just went ahead with their law because I don't know if it was like rewriting it's too much work or.
So who was it? Republicans that voted it in? Was it a mix?
Republicans run the House or whatever it is in Texas. The law, Republican. Texas is a red state. Yeah. There we go. So yes, if the law is getting passed there, it's going to get passed through Republicans.
That's funny. I wonder. Have you seen like any quotes from any of the politicians?
I haven't seen any of the politicians.
Yeah,
just
that's
like,
right. Stay
no,
quiet.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I feel like it's a weird area between, you know, law enforcement and then the people who are writing the laws, because you have to look at it from a perspective of also the legal system. Because if you think about the disproportionate amount of people, you know, not to bring race and gender into everything, but a disproportionate amount of minority males who are in jail for those specific charges, what does that mean for their future? What does that mean for, you know, what precedents are these politicians setting by this accidental, quote, you know, air quotes, accidental legalization? Because if that's the case, then are the precedents going to be carried out? Like, is it a politician thing where it's like we're also going to amend the cases in which these people were involved in?
Right.
Are we?
Is it going to start this whole process? Is it going to tumble down to
what I'm
something
reading
really
is
exciting?
It looks like it was pretty intentional.
Oh,
I believe it was.
From the politician side?
Yeah, it's in
Texas
certain,
has
it's
always
certain
been completely
districts
so
in
strict
Texas.
on marijuana. For
Interesting.
sure.
Because but you also have to look at who's profiting off of this. If you look at,
there's always someone.
Very, very true. So if these politicians accidentally, intentionally, whatever the case may be, there was still some sort of motive behind legalizing such a thing, and then the ramifications, whether good, bad, and different, there's still consequences. And then if you are legalizing this, the money, the influx of taxes, whatever the case may be, to support such a thing. Yeah. Where's that money going? Is it going to support their campaigns? Is it going to support, you know, getting people out who are in jail for these charges? Is it going towards, you know, welfare? Is it going towards the community? Like, what are we opening up by doing this?
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. Do you think they're gonna?
Pretty relative.
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna try and change it back? Or, I mean, if it's
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I mean,
if it's intentional, then probably not.
Yeah. It sounds like the Republican leaders in Texas are a little upset that the districts are doing this to sort of like work around the law.
Yeah, but you can't ignore the timing of this either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
The timing, like right now, I feel like it's a time period where people are, you know, gearing up for the presidential election. They're looking at, you know, potential. How is the presidential election going to trickle down into my personal life, and how is that affecting the leaders in my immediate vicinity? So you have to look at your local leaders, and if these local leaders are making these decisions for, you know, whoever political person that they, you know, hierarchical underneath, then how is that impacting the overall state legislation, therefore impacting the United States as a whole, the country?
Right.
Well, they possibly could be doing it. I'm sorry, Jacob. You can go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, don't forget to vote. By the way.
Yes, please vote.
Oh my God. I was thinking more along the lines that they could also use it for cutting expenses for the prison system.
Yeah,
because
for sure. Because
it costs so much to imprison one person, you know, and you have all these low-level charges that are being treated as.
Well, I mean, that's
horrible, terrible things, and they're really not. And they pass this law, and you know that's a lot of expenses expunged immediately.
I mean, that's.
But on the back end of things, to revise all of these criminal, you know, what are they called? Like state appointed. What are they? The legal people, the lawyers, attorneys. Yes. Is their caseload going to increase because we're, you know, looking at all these things like the public defenders and stuff like that, especially again the state appointed ones. They're going to be, you know, a little more.
I feel like they would just wipe them clean, and I feel like that would be the best.
In a perfect scenario.
Yeah, in the best case scenario, everyone would be like, all right, What'd you do?
Peace out.
Yeah, you have a gram upon. All right, see ya. You're
Well, it
fine.
sounds like some of them are delaying the cases so that they can get properly tested, even though.
Yeah.
So, some people are still gonna get screwed because.
Yeah.
What happens to the people in jail now that already got prosecuted?
Nothing.
Probably get grandfathered.
What does that
I
mean?
mean,
They're still going to adhere to the rule where they were prosecuted as.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
know what you
because
mean.
it's not legalizing marijuana; it's legalizing
Yeah,
hemp.
that's
now.
true.
So if they were previously prosecuted for weed, like that's still illegal,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
So.
But other than that, I
Do
don't.
you have any particular thoughts on this, Kim?
I mean, the biggest thing on that is like, I don't see this as an issue, honestly. Like, granted, they technically did not legalize weed, but they did. Like, there's no way around that. Because
They
how are you
legalized
able?
shitty weed.
It's literally how are you able to, like, arrest someone?
That's it.
And you could,
This is why you're on.
You alright?
I don't know, I was gonna say
stress me out.
when it comes
Sorry.
to
You okay?
I was not.
I don't know. My whole thing is that the whole prison system kind of fucking sucks, anyways, because it's supposed to like. This is one of my main.
Oh my
topic.
God.
I know. I'm about to roll into a whole new topic, but like literally the prison,
Whose topic's next though? Go on about your prison.
like the whole fucking, the whole point of a prison is supposed to, you know, criminals did what they did wrong, and we're supposed to help them. You know, kind of
Yeah, the
more
point
of a
is
correction facility.
Yeah,
right?
rehabilitation.
Exactly. And
No, thank you.
what steps do prisons go towards to do that?
None.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Because
Maybe here are some books to read.
Exactly.
while
like,
you're stuck here.
like
Here's
we're
some
talking
books.
about like implementation of GED programs, work
Yep.
what is it called? Not work study, that's college, a completely different beast. What is it called? Work education,
Yeah.
you know, job training, that kind of stuff.
And like that's just not a thing when it comes to like the prison system. And plus, like solitary confinement, that is literal torture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that fucks people up, dude.
that doesn't make you mentally better as a person. That makes you mentally worse.
But this is the I guess the caveat or the question I guess I have as far as that, because if we're America's capitalistic, of course, so then when you're looking at prison being somewhat of a business, because like even Peter said, he was like, think about how much it costs, you know,
Yeah.
from that perspective. So if you want your business to do well, if you want your business to continue, these people are making money off of the prison system. It's
yeah, people are making
basic.
money off of putting people in jail.
Exactly, and not that it's great, but
That's not what it
that's
should
not the
be.
point of it at all. No, but the fact that that's the reality of things, how if we do prison the way prison is supposed to be,
Yeah.
reformatory.
reformatory, it'll eventually, there's hopefully in a perfect scenario there wouldn't be a need for prison because people would know before they even get there that this isn't something that they want to do.
Precisely. And we're just
Precisely.
it's
According to my calculations.
look, I've had to use a lot of big brain words today. But like the main thing about all that is like the fucking they need to do, and
Like
for a lot of different things, they need to just wipe the slate clean, and they need to develop a new process.
There's a ghost. The power just flickered. There's a ghost.
There's a ghost.
There's a thunderstorm outside though, so we might lose power, low key.
Nice.
Well,
That would be pretty.
good thing we're on a
That would
laptop.
be pretty gamer.
Oh, podcast hosted with no power.
Yeah, in the dark.
Night owls.
The
After
real
dark.
night owls.
In the dark,
Okay.
blind.
Let's move on.
All right,
Who's next?
so
New topic. We did. Everyone's looking at me.
ooh, I think I
Yeah.
have a segue because
okay.
so from the prison topic. So do we look at countries like what's the shit geography? If we look at places like Canada, even what's the other? Not Norway. What's the one? New Zealand.
New Zealand.
If we look at places like that for
How did you mix
other
those
side of the
two?
world, but that's all right. That's all right.
That
I
is-
said geography. Shit, I can't have all the answers, dude.
Norway.
But
New Zealand.
but if we're looking at other countries like that, Nevada.
Told me to.
But if we look at
got
other countries
this
like
one?
that for help, I think that it should also apply to other areas such as gun control. Isn't that one of the topics we're talking about?
Oh yeah, it is.
There we go. Ooh,
Talking about gun
segue.
control
Look at
then?
me.
It's not so much gun control, but white
You failed,
supremacism.
Natia.
Come
Get
on, I
out.
tried. I gave a valiant effort.
So
Good try.
2 claps.
Try again.
yeah,
You
it's
made.
a whole.
Next
There's 37 arrests have been made on terroristic threats
Good.
on places, and
On places
various places, varying places,
Such
Walmart.
as El
in
Paso.
America.
No, not in El Paso.
On planet Earth.
Where was it then?
Oh, I'm sorry, not 37, 27 people.
Okay. It's still
Less,
quite a bit of
doesn't
people.
matter. And there's, yeah, I name and address withheld, vow to bring my father's M15 to school and killed 7 people at a minimum.
Yikes.
Yeah, dude, you don't fucking do that.
That's
How old was this fucking
And the
kid?
problem that like probably 13 or 14, I think it said. But
Jesus
the problem is that all these parents are like, oh, they would never do anything. It's like that's not the point of it. The point of it is that we're in an
That's
era.
what every fucking
There's an
school
era.
parents
There's an.
think.
We're
Exactly.
living in an era where you can't say certain things, and you can't
He just likes
threaten
torturing
something like
small
this.
animals.
It's like back in the day when you would fucking scream fire in a movie theater, like that.
Exactly. It's the
Like-
same. It's the same thing.
This is the same exact thing, just in a different type of scenario, and it should be
Kinda
treated.
fucking worse.
It's a lot
Oh, yeah.
worse, and it needs to be treated,
And it's doing. It's
exactly
happening a lot
as that.
more.
especially with the fucking history that
So
our
they're
country
being
has had with these
arrested.
incidents.
What kind of jail time are they getting? Do you know?
Some of them are looking at 4 years.
Wow.
Good.
Reasonable.
A woman who said her child should not be treated like a terrorist, and kids say things
Well, he
like
is
that
a
all the
fucking
time.
terrorist.
There's
It's when you
it's day after day. August 4th, August 7th, 8th, 9th,
Oh my
10th,
God.
11th,
If he
11th,
threatens like a terrorist,
12th, 13th, 15th,
Is
16th,
Fucking crap.
And
It
he's a
walks
fucking
like a
terrorist.
duck, quacks like a duck. It's probably a duck.
18-year-old, 38-year-old, 18-year-old, 37-year-old, 14, 15.
Where are
Fuck
they?
them
Where are these
kids.
guys from?
it's probably a range.
and why are they so stupid?
Florida. More
Hey,
or
it's
less.
in
Everywhere.
America.
Everyone in Florida is fucking weird.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, Florida makes.
I don't live in Florida. So
I
they
wonder,
don't-
is
they're not
it-
gonna come kill me.
Is it that we're desensitized to such an issue to the point where people think that it's a joke?
And it's also
I think a
that
lot of
people
those
talk
kids
about
probably
it.
think it's like fucking edgy and cool.
Yeah. Like the whole like
Maybe-
Or people
yeah,
talk
they
about it
just-
because they're scared about it, but it's
I think-
probably the latter. It's probably people
But there's
are joking
also
about it
like
'cause they think it's funny.
almost 40-year-old men doing this.
Yeah.
Like,
All right.
Those are more the-
This might
I
be a
don't-
generalization, but
Mm.
I think a lot of it is like the like real heavy alt right people who
It
think
is.
it's like
it's
funny.
all white supremacists.
Like it's like
but
a
this is
joke to them.
And this is the thing. I think the way that the legal system has treated the people who have committed such crimes, with especially with it being white cisgendered men for the most part,
Yeah.
it's seen it honestly like the quote unquote justice that's happening in my opinion is a joke. So if
Yeah.
we're treating it like that, then of course people are going to pick it up and they're going to be like, whatever, like water off his back, like,
right?
nothing's
Because it's
going to
not
happen.
being taken.
Yeah.
Yeah,
seriously.
right. And
But if a person of brown complexion did it, it would be rip the family apart, rip this apart, throw this
and
away.
I think the internet area as a whole has lend itself to like I think a lot of these kids fall into that right wing, that hard alt right sort of area real easily now. I think there's like 4chan and 8chan, you get on there and that's a lot of the shit
Oh
you
boy,
see.
the
You
shit you see on there
yeah,
will shock
dude,
you.
Like it's dark shit, and they just like fall into these groups that brainwash them.
But I do have to say this: if we're holding personal accountability, we can't do that for minors. Minors aren't. So, are we looking at the parents and being like, not that you can tell someone how to parent, not that you can teach a person, you can't. The government can't be like,
Yeah.
oh my god, you're teaching your child wrong.
Right.
But in the same breath, is it like the
the
fact
same-
that this is a social issue for some people, but not for other people? I think that reflects in parenting.
I
The
think
biggest-
maybe if they were like 9, 8 years old, maybe you couldn't hold personal accountability. But I think there's still some accountability that you should be holding these kids
Yeah,
to.
I think it like
I mean,
50.
I mean, obviously, it's a bit of the parents too.
Yeah.
It
but
comes
I-
to a
Yeah,
point.
because what are you teaching your kids?
Exactly. Yeah.
It gets to a point where your parents can teach you everything that they need to, but sometimes there does have to be that strict thing there.
Yeah.
Now, also, what I have noticed in some parenting that a lot of people have kids that just do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is it leads to exactly what's going on now with these death threats and shooter threats. Like,
I mean, you can't control everything they look at on the internet too.
Of course not. Yeah.
And it's hard because you don't always know what they're getting into, and you may not even realize how extreme it is. You know, you may think they're coming up with their own ideologies, and it's like, okay, cool, he's thinking for himself. You know, it may whether you're right leaning or left leaning. It's like, okay, he's got his own ideals, and then you don't realize the implications of how.
But
far
at the same time, there are also steps as a parent that you can take to block certain websites and put parental restrictions on computers, on internet, on video games.
Well, I mean, I think it's hard too because like I didn't even know that 8chan was a fucking thing till like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Like I'd never
4chan.
Yeah, I'd only ever heard of 4chan. I had no clue where.
You haven't heard of 8chan?
I just said it was like recently, Jacob. If you weren't on your phone and paying attention.
I'm sorry, I was putting this up on.
I mean, I knew what 4chan was. I'd always heard of 4chan, but like I'd never heard of 8chan until like super recently.
Shit gets real dark real quick.
Probably racist is what
that too.
So I mean,
what's the point of having a platform?
I think it's hard to keep up with so much stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's
just
with 4chan. It's
honestly.
like the whole idea of it is that everyone on it is anonymous. It's not necessarily that this website is going to be to congregate hate.
It's the biggest thing is it's a place where
I'm sure there's lots of that, but I'm also sure there's lots of like.
It's people where idiots can say whatever they want whenever they want, and they won't be able to get in trouble for it.
And I think that is definitely it has its own implications as well, because if you're whatever the age is, but you're outwardly spewing hate, and then people are, oh my god, I resonate with this in some capacity, then it's like you're just building a monster that has the ability, that has the the connection somehow.
There needs to be some point where that just has to come to a stop, where it's like, okay, this is getting that shouldn't happen.
When you're a kid, you also say dumb shit, and when you say that dumb shit on 4chan and it gets 1 million upvotes, it's like, okay, this is the right shit to say.
Yeah, for sure.
That's not what it should
be.
And
again, if people don't see whatever they're doing as being wrong, or inciting hate or whatever the case may be, then nobody's going to do anything about it.
Now, here's the real question though: can you morally, and I guess just can you censor that stuff? Can you go and say, okay, you 4chan people, you guys have to make an account. 4chan is no longer anonymous.
Realistically,
do you guys think that should be a thing?
Because then they're just going to leave for another website.
It creates a market for something
this
else.
Isn't the same thing, but like people vacate a site instantly like
but
that. Like Tumblr got rid of all the porn and it died like that. Yeah. Like it's not the same thing, but it's practically the same thing. Like.
But I'm just saying, like let's say hypothetically, universally, nothing was anonymous anymore.
Every Tumblr stand was so sad.
But like people are like they don't feel attached to the website. It's what they're offering.
No one has
it's the content on there, and the content can always move.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
exactly. The website is replaceable. The content is not.
Yeah,
the content's gonna follow wherever the next
and I feel as though
platform is.
If you look at it from a place of they're already feeling socially rejected because I can't say this out loud knowing who I am, add that to a website rejecting them, that could, inspire something even more of like, okay, like, fuck these motherfuckers, I'm going to say exactly what I want to fucking say here, there, wherever. And then the cycle of like shame and hatred only fuels and builds.
From my understanding, that's what 8chan became after, like, people fled 4chan for that to make it like a darker, worse, terrible place.
Because you have to think, in my opinion or my experience with hate, I feel like it comes from a place of not only insecurity, but also like a bit of ignorance. Yeah. And when you add shame to that, especially when it comes to specifically men and violence, and again, in my experience, I feel as though it creates it like harbors a certain place of like just making it even more worse, if that makes sense.
I mean, bullying starts as, if you feel insecure about yourself, bullying and bringing someone else down, like that helps for some people, that helps alleviate it. And that's, I mean, it's different things, but it's also like the same core.
Yeah. And then if you're taking that to such an issue such as terrorism, like that's when, and that's the other thing. A lot of these people don't consider it to be domestic terror, quote unquote domestic terrorism.
They're defending their fucking country or whatever.
It's the same thing with how white supremacist agendas are just on the rise right now because they're getting more media coverage, they're getting the attention that they want. But yet it's still somewhat of an anonymous group because. The channels or whatever.
This is also why people are so attached to their guns now, is they feel shunned or shamed or whatever, and they feel powerless. And I think guns give people a sense of power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's a physical, tactical representation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it fucking sucks, dude. It's dark as hell.
Yeah.
I don't.
Everyone that has an AR-15 has a small peepee.
It's like the equivalent of the guys who have the cars with rims or whatever. They lift them up
but
and
let's send Jacob to his shun corner for a second, because I definitely think that a lot of this has to do with
the militarization of. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I was
going to
say our president and his
yeah.
hate mongering for people and groups and fear mongering and everything. I think that we have entered an era of politics where it's okay to do that sort of thing.
You said this shit. He really wild out today. He said, "I am the chosen one."
Oh yeah,
Trump said that.
Yes, he said that.
He said some crazy shit today. He called himself the king of Israel.
Hold on. Stop the fucking clock.
Hold on. Check Twitter really quickly.
Smoking Snoop Dogg quantity.
I am the king of Israel. I am the chosen one.
So
I will bring balance to the force.
Did you see the video of the cop hitting the blunt to Snoop Dogg?
Because you say no to Snoop Dogg's blunt? Of course not.
So if anyone hasn't seen it yet, all I'm gonna say, check Twitter.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
Twitter.
But I mean, I definitely.
Well, what are you doing with yourself?
I am the chosen one.
I'm trying.
It was a conference. It was a Rose Garden conference.
That's
they were having
probably a good thing, in all honesty.
But I mean, back to what I'm saying is, I think we've fostered a society now that sort of thinks that's okay, and
glorifies.
Right? We put the most powerful man in our country believes these things, so it's okay to do it now. He says that. White supremacists are good people. Good
it's
people
like
on
it's
both
like
sides or whatever the fuck. But
it's like a kid doing something wrong, and then the parents saying, "Oh, they can do it," but everyone else knows it's totally fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure.
The most important part of their life, or their following, is saying it's okay, so they're gonna do it no matter what.
At the same time, though, I do feel like there is also a rise of people fighting that type of hate and ignorance. I feel like there's a lot of people now coming up.
I'm sorry, go on.
From people, from from just from 2012 to now, there are a lot more people that would consider themselves, I think, more liberal and more
active in their government.
And people are a lot more tolerant, and they're
woke.
Right, people are more woke, and people are more careful about, I think, what they say now.
Yeah, I think it's harder to stay in the middle nowadays. I think it's a lot fucking harder. It's hard to just sit by and ride.
I think it's not hard for Republicans, former conservatives, to be in the middle now. I feel like they've been pushed away from this very hard right area.
Yeah, I mean, they're from my
I could be in the middle now because this is fucked.
My political perspective is I see people on the right that are fucked, and I see people on the left that are fucked, and it pushes me towards the middle, because there are both sides that things I like about the right, and there's things that I like about the left, but there's also things that I really fucking hate about the right, and I really fucking hate about the left. And I think that a lot of people feel this way because politics has become so divisive now, and they just don't want to get involved because it's, I don't know, it's too hard.
I'm gonna swing off of that because I agree with everything you're saying. To a point, there have been extremists.
I don't know about this one.
There have been extremists on both sides. I hate to say it.
Yeah, there are.
But I have.
You don't see any fucking liberals shooting up Walmart, but that's just me. I don't know about that one, Chief.
Antifa can get violent.
Antifa can get a little violent, but they're not
suck
fucking...
my nads. Antifa...
But the Proud Boys will literally shoot up any school like that.
Yeah, but violence.
They don't care.
I think the violence is much more seen on the right, and that's.
Well, it's because it's hate fueled.
Yeah, I think
I'm not disagreeing at all. But
Yeah.
violence is violence, and
Yeah.
you know,
At its core,
you
violence
gotta
is violence.
condemn both.
And
I
also,
think-
at its core, there's going to be extremism on any side.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
going to be
exactly.
extreme left, extreme right. You're just going to have to take.
You
what
just
you
have
get and
you have to
mix the
be
pot and
you have
feel
to
what
be
you
in
want.
the midst of everything right now. You just have to be level headed, and it's difficult when there are people screaming on both sides.
But what I was going to say
Yeah.
is, I think we're definitely in an age where, in the next 5 to 10 years, this could be like a very momentum changing.
I just
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
want everything to blow up.
don't
All
know.
honesty.
I definitely think there should be people screaming. Like,
Yeah.
I think we're screaming because of the shit we're seeing, dude.
But-
the shit that we're seeing should be screamed at. When you have a president that's denying climate change, when you have a president that's saying we're getting invaded by Mexico, when we have a president that's saying there are good people in the fucking KKK rally, I'm gonna fucking scream, dude. 'cause
Sure,
that's
but
fucked.
if you scream at people, they're only gonna scream back, and you guys are just gonna have a pissing contest,
But-
and nothing's gonna get solved.
But it doesn't denote the valid pieces of either argument.
No, it doesn't
yeah.
denote
I don't
anything.
think-
The biggest thing
I don't
is
think
if
you
you
can calmly
respond.
sit down and listen to
No.
some white supremacist and be like, okay, I see your point of view.
Well, no, that's
no,
not what I'm.
fuck you, dude.
That,
Like,
I mean, that's not what I'm saying. Like,
Things have just gotten so escalated.
I think it was you who said it, but like when you give, or maybe it was Peter, but when you give these people attention and media coverage, like the right wing, the shooters, the KKK people, when you sit down and you give them the coverage and you scream at them and you tell them that they're wrong, they're going to use that as
shouldn't
fuel.
we tell people it's wrong to shoot up schools? Isn't it? How do we ignore kids getting shot every
Well, you
fucking
can't.
day?
I mean,
the
you can't
problem
ignore
is
it.
you can't go for a message because you're going to be. People are going to say, "Oh, you're denying my right to free speech."
There's a way to tell people that this is wrong without.
What you need to do is you
glorifying
need to
it.
end. You need to stop the outlets that they use to carry on their hate, which is guns.
Yeah, I mean that's, and I think the only way that's going to get done is outrage. I don't think that.
Sitting and being silent or being quiet or just playing polite is not going to do anything.
And I don't
Well-
think like sitting here and being like, I'm sure that our fucking senators and our representatives
Well,
see
well,
the problems.
That's not what I'm
with these
saying, though.
guns.
That's not what I'm
Like,
saying.
But we need to yell and make an uproar about.
I think there's something to be
To
said.
a point.
Mm.
There needs to, like,
When you get angry and you yell at people, it's not gonna.
it's not necessarily going.
I
Like, you'll
think
definitely
the
get their
anger is
attention.
Totally justified.
but-
Well, I'm not saying it's not justified. I
I
completely
don't,
agree
I
that
don't
it's
think
justified.
we can't. I don't know, man. I just.
In my opinion, it comes down to voting and being proud about it and telling other people to vote.
Don't forget to vote.
You already said that.
I'm saying it again.
There is no election this year, but okay, go.
I'm saying for next year.
But even as far as like your
Thanks.
local government and working your way up,
People need
people forget
us.
a lot about the local elections and doing your homework on those
People
too.
in Harford County complain about the developments going on. That's Barry Glassman.
Fuck that
Fuck.
guy. Yeah. Up top. Fuck that guy. Fuck you, Barry.
All right.
So
More
Barry
like
Glassman
bitch ass Barry.
More like
He's
Barry Assman.
All right. Now,
He's a sellout to developers, and he can go
He
suck
can
a fat turd.
Go suck a
Speaking
dick,
of
suck a dick,
developers-
suck a motherfucking dick, suck a dick.
Go on,
Suck
Jacob.
a huge or small dick.
speaking of developers,
Uh-huh.
why don't we get on a train that we can all
Jacob's
hopefully
tired
agree
of talking
on?
about politics.
Yes,
Oh my
I am
God.
very tired of talking about politics.
Well, it's our life, so get used to
I
it.
love it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
feel like
having
I
fun.
feel like
Fucking Spider-Man.
Why are you fucking Spider-Man?
Don't worry about
why are
it.
you fucking Spider-Man? That's a nice idea.
So, for those of you who may not have heard, recently Sony and Marvel have had or Sony and Disney, technically, they've been having some disputes about Spider-Man, considering Sony also holds some rights to Spider-Man, and Disney, they're
You
doing
mean
it with
the
Marvel.
rights to Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Not some. The.
Yeah, right.
So,
All of them.
they were struggling to make a deal on profits, and they just ended up cutting ties. So there is no more Spider-Man. Well,
the MCU.
there is a Spider-Man, but it
He's
will
not
be
in the
given
MCU.
back to Sony.
He's not in the MCU.
He's not in the MCU anymore,
It makes me so sad.
which is
Terribly depressing.
unfortunate.
So, do you guys think Tom Holland is still going to be Spider-Man? Are they going to
I
go
heard-
through with
I've
Spider-Man
heard-
3?
There's
Fucking
been so
different
many
things.
different.
I don't know. I think it's too soon to know right now.
Now there is also.
Good there?
No, I'm really tired. To be honest.
Need some coffee?
No,
Yeah,
I gave some of his.
You want some cream?
No, I tried it. It
All
was
right,
ass.
fucking
Continue.
So-
focus.
The biggest thing on that is like there has been a counter argument where Sony could have gotten more from Disney, considering Disney is making all this money. They could have made a bigger deal with Sony. Now that is the counter argument. The argument that everyone
That
else.
knows. Wait, what?
So pretty
Sony
much.
was making all of the money, almost all of the money.
Yeah, and they wanted more.
No, Disney wanted more.
Yeah, Disney wanted more.
Disney.
Disney-
wanted-
Well, I
are
think
the-
they both. They
Disney-
both wanted more. They both
Disney's
wanted
the
more.
assholes in these situations.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
Disney wanted. Yeah, they are.
Are
No,
they?
no.
Well-
yeah, they totally are. Because Sony gave Disney the rights to Spider-Man to use in their movies, except they'd be getting all of the solo movie property money besides 5% of the opening day box office.
Mhm.
But they'd also be funding all of the shooting and filming for their films.
Mm-hmm.
Disney would get 100% of the profit from any films that Spider-Man were in that weren't his solo films.
Yeah.
So they got all the money from Endgame, they got all the money from Infinity War, they got all the money from Civil War. Disney said, we actually want 50% of the solo movie revenue instead of the 5 now. And Sony was like, whoa, what the fuck? No, that is way too much. And fuck Disney.
Disney is inches away from becoming a
Exactly,
monopoly.
dude. I
Yeah.
can't
And that
blame
shit
Sony
is
for
not
standing
good.
their ground. It sucks, but like Disney's some greedy bastards, and that's on them.
Bob
Unfor-
Iger is a
Fuck
The-
Disney.
the biggest
business
thing-
genius.
I just really wish that Spider-Man could have stayed in the MCU. Disney, they
But
are
that's
a
just capital greed.
goddamn.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah, watch
Yeah.
us make this political, Jacob. Fuck this capitalistic bullshit.
Oh my god. Biggest thing.
Go on.
Yeah, no, you said it perfectly. Say less, if you would.
If you would.
This is gonna turn into another fucking amazing Spider-Man situation.
I
Well,
don't think
it's
so.
good
I
to
don't
know
think so.
that
Think
Disney
about-
is
Alright.
carrying on the tradition of ruining the third
It
Spider-Man.
might be better
Okay,
this way.
time out,
Yeah.
time out. Disney
Yeah.
just made into the. I mean, fucking. We're talking Sony, not Disney.
Yeah.
Sony
Nah.
just made Into the
Do
Spider Verse.
No.
That was fucking
Do not.
awesome. And Spider-Man
No,
1
I'm
and
good. I'm
2
gonna start
were
shaking.
fucking
I'm
awesome.
trying to take it.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, but
For-
Yeah, the Amazing Spider-Man was okay.
No,
I didn't
the
The
think
Amazing Spider-Man was
Time
not
out, time out, time
okay.
out. I don't think the
Spider-Man
first one was bad at all.
the
Debatable.
second one was fucking
First one
garbage.
was-
Yeah.
First one was Tobey Maguire.
No, so
The
we're
first-
talking about the Andrew Garfield.
We're talking about Andrew
Set it.
Garfield.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the first Andrew Garfield movie isn't bad.
I think.
I think he does a really
I think
good
his hair is
Spider-Man. He's
pretentious.
fucking funny and he's charming. I don't
He
think
could have done a good Spider-Man if the
Andrew
script
Garfield
wasn't
cannot
so
play a
poor.
high school Peter Parker. He can play a college Peter Parker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I think that's one of the reasons why it was fucking bad.
Yeah.
But I think he makes a great Spider-Man because Spider-Man's fucking funny even when he's in high school. He's great. He's charming. It's something about putting on the mask that makes Peter Parker not a dork, and he learns that later in
No,
college.
don't
and
get
that-
us wrong.
Yeah,
There's
it's too
nothing
bad the
wrong
movie
with it.
sucked.
I
There's
don't
no-
think so.
Can
No,
I note that
there
his
is
hair
no
is
pro-
pretentious?
I swear to fucking Christ.
Like,
There
you're
is
on the
no
top,
problem
Jacob.
with Andrew Garfield. There is a problem with the way Sony made the movie.
Bad.
Yes.
And I heard Venom was.
Venom
Not
was.
that great.
I've heard mixed things about.
I
it.
saw,
I saw
Venom.
it and I fell asleep at the
I-
drive-in movie.
Really?
That's how bad it was.
It was
Uh,
debatable.
I didn't.
I still haven't
see
seen it. I've been meaning to.
I was excited for it, and then I heard the reviews, and I was like, I don't.
The
really
guy
care
writing
anymore.
Venom liked it, so I mean,
The guy writing Venom.
yeah.
What?
Venom comics right now.
Oh, I thought
Oh.
you meant
and
the
he's
writer of the
fucking
movie.
phenomenal. So
Is that who is that?
Donnie Cates,
Okay.
he's awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Oh my god.
That's some good shit right here. That's real good. I love it.
I think we
Spider-Man.
give Sony a little too much shit. Could
Yeah.
you imagine? Could you imagine we getting old? They bring Tobey Maguire
So
back
that's
to get
what I was gonna-
Spider-Man.
What if they-
Multiverse.
Well, that's what I was gonna
Dude,
bring
if
up.
they pull out,
If
if
they
they
do
fucking
that, can I play
shot-
Peter Parker, please? Sony,
The
call
the
me?
well
No, I want to
the
play Peter Parker. Fuck you.
the only
What
reason
do
so
you mean you want to play Peter Parker? I would make a way better.
I'm more
Peter Parker.
charismatic. Fuck you.
Oh, sure you are, you little fucking stoner. You can barely speak anymore. You're all mumbly. I'm charismatic. Fuck you.
What the fuck?
So one of
Hateful is
the
not more charismatic, but okay, go off.
I'm plenty charismatic.
You are plenty hateful
I'm
today.
charming.
Oh my
Only
God.
because I'm mad at you, dick.
Then why are you going off on him?
Because I'm equal parts annoying too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on? Why did you take his sock?
He's trying to get his toes.
So one of the things I was gonna bring up.
What the fuck?
That's fucking gross. Please don't lean on that.
It's my elbow.
Dude,
Oh my god.
I've been driving all fucking day.
One of the things that I was gonna bring
I
up
don't need that.
was I think I'd be more okay with this if they brought back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and mixed them with the Tom Holland
So
Spider-Man
concerned.
and did like a multiverse thing. Yeah.
Or animate all of them and put them into the next Spider-Verse movie with Miles.
I think that it's not as easy as you would.
He's
I
big
can't-
with his head. It's like a sock puppet. look.
It's a fucking hairy mess. Oh, that's nasty.
All right, I'm gonna go get a
Piece
charge
of
for my
shit.
computer. You fine young ladies keep talking.
So the biggest thing is like
Get off of me.
Disney shouldn't have asked for that much, and by
This
doing
is the
so,
worst, though.
by-
That's the problem.
by doing so, they have angered a lot of people. But a lot of people are actually just mad at Sony.
Yeah, because they don't understand
But-
and they're stupid.
Because Sony
Yeah.
gets the shitty rap, which is fucked, because they stood up to a giant, and
Right, fuck yeah, good for them, dude.
Honestly,
But still, you're gonna lose financially. So who's really winning? Huh?
Yeah, I mean,
No one.
look, they got everyone to turn on
Disney's
Sony just
still
like
gonna
that.
come out on top because Disney's so big, it literally is almost too big to fail.
I've heard, alright, this is probably just hopeful thinking and not true at all.
okay.
But like the D23 Expo is supposed to be coming up, where they announce all their shit, and I heard this is maybe just something to like throw everyone off from D23, where they're gonna like announce something big.
Really?
Yeah, but I think that's just wishful thinking. I don't think there's any merit to that at all.
Great.
But you never know.
You never know, and that's the thing. I really hope they try to get back the deal that they originally had.
Yeah, I mean the like official statement Sony put out made it sound like they.
They're at an impasse. Is what they
Yeah,
said.
right. Like in time it could come back.
Hopefully.
It seems we have reached an impasse. I want money. Oh, Disney, you want 50% of the money? Well, I want 5% of it. I want 50 now.
He's doing shadow puppets with his
I'm not doing
hands.
shadow puppets, just puppets.
Okay. Jonathan, what the fuck is your topic?
Yeah.
talking about aliens.
Oh
Aliens.
my god.
Great, we haven't done
Wait,
that
Natia,
before.
do you have any opinions on Spider-Man?
The last Spider-Man I saw was the one with Drake from Drake and Josh in it. So like I'm
The cartoon?
no.
Wait, what? Wait, Drake?
He was in it.
Oh yeah, that was a cartoon. Was
What was
Yeah,
that
he
cartoon?
he voiced.
Well,
the
then I don't
cartoon.
even think I saw that one then, so I don't know.
Oh no.
Was the main character Miles Morales? Was it animated?
Yo no sé, no comprende. Lo siento mucho.
Don't speak Spanish.
Aliens.
I don't remember a damn thing.
Okay, moving on.
Aliens.
All right, so recently some cool scientists people from not NASA, some from Canada's space agency in Canada.
Thank you.
Sorry, just had a bit of a stroke there.
I swear to fuck.
This podcast has had its ups and downs, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Mostly some downs, but you know. So they so it's an institute called CHIME, and it stands for
Ring-a-ling.
something, but I don't remember what it stands for. But the scientists there, they found something called fast radio bursts. It's called fast radio bursts or
these radio
FRBs.
signals.
Oh yeah.
So a fast radio burst can be a repeating pattern, or it can just be like a one-time thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of this year, in January, like the beginning and end of January, some scientists discovered some repeating like pattern of radio bursts from space, from a galaxy, and now we've just recently found more repeating signals coming from space in the same like general area, I think, and So, do you guys think that
aliens?
Let's just cut straight to the chase. Could this be aliens?
Well, something.
What else could be sending?
What else could
radio signal?
We don't know.
Is there a planet that just emits radio signals?
Well,
like,
radio signal is it's a natural phenomenon.
That's a rough term.
Yeah.
Saying confining it to radio signal is like AM FM.
Oh yeah, well, duh.
Wait, no, that's not it. That's an it down. That's not how that works.
You cocksucker! Turn my fucking phone off. I'm gonna fucking kill him.
But
then you're not walking
honestly,
out of this house alive.
It's obviously very vague, and it's too vague to really find out if it's actually like extraterrestrial or just what it could be at all.
You know these exoplanets we talk about,
Yeah.
or we hear about. You know,
Yeah.
that one that
Can I have my sock back?
I guess so.
Thanks.
I'm done with it. I have my fun.
You want your toes now?
Yeah,
Finish
well,
your thought. Can you
To-
remember?
Why don't we just go to them? You know, they're like,
Are you fucking high right now?
no, I'm not.
we got all these planets that are like light years away. Why don't we just go to them?
I'll be back on Monday.
22 light years. Just get.
You know,
No,
just
no,
get
no,
a
no.
taxi.
Space Uber, dude. It's not that far. Come on,
You
man.
have to call out of work.
I'm
Sorry,
not
I have to
talking
go to
now,
an
I'm talking way in the
exoplanet right
future.
now.
The problem is we currently don't have the technology to either go that far, much less the
So you,
provisions.
hold on. All right, everybody, shut the fuck up.
Theoretically and hypothetically, if you set someone up in their early teens to start going, and they leave by 21, and then they
Take
come
my
back,
glasses off. I
They
can't
would
see
not
the
be able to
stupidity.
come
No,
back.
dude.
I
So
can't
these
see.
galaxy, it's coming from another galaxy, which
Yeah.
is
well, I'm not talking,
billions of light years
This
away.
was on a tangent of because I saw this exoplanet was like 12 light years away or 22 light years.
So 12 light years is so it takes 12 years for that light to reach us,
Which means, yeah.
which means it's,
If
Yeah.
we
Okay.
could, so
It's
if
all
we
coming
could,
together now, huh?
if we could travel at the speed of light, it would still take us 12 years to get there.
Yeah.
Just go faster. Just pedal to the metal,
Zoom,
man.
zoom.
I am speed.
So the thing is about these radio bursts. Radio compared to light travels really, really slow.
Yeah.
So these radio bursts are probably like millions.
This is why
Maybe
I'm
if
better
not
Spider-Man.
thousands,
Peter
if not
Parker
millions
wouldn't
of
ask
years
that question.
old.
That's
Yeah.
some stupid shit.
yeah,
So-
but Peter Parker would say something stupid.
I'm fucking trying to talk
You
here.
don't even know the character.
So these
We apologize for the little technical difficulties here.
radio bursts, since they compared to light, they travel really fucking slow. So these radio bursts are really, really, really old. Which means if we somehow manage to get there, that's
If it's send a response.
if it's yeah, exactly. Or if it's any sort of like intelligent civilization, they could be gone. They could be dead or super evolved.
they
at this
could have
point,
just
you know.
fucking nuked themselves.
At this point, when we're receiving them, if it's like a
Yeah, I was
maybe
gonna
it's
say,
like a
there's not
help
even-
message.
Is there even
That's
like
the crazy
a
shit
way?
about things. What star is close to exploding? Is it like Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Was it-
Yeah.
Beetlejuice could have exploded.
And we wouldn't know.
We
Yeah.
wouldn't have known for like another what is it, 3 or 30?
Well, we could look up at the sky, and any minute we could see that Beetlejuice is blown up.
Oh, at that point, so I actually read something about it, which is really fucking cool. Once we see that star exploding, like let's say it's nighttime, we'd be able to. It would just be. It would look like it was broad daylight outside too. That's how.
Wow.
That's how fucking bright.
Do you
that
have any
explosion would
idea,
be.
like, when
That'd be
like,
fucked.
could it happen in our lifetime?
Yeah, it could.
Yeah.
Low key, yeah.
Or it could.
It could
not.
literally happen anytime.
Well, fuck. I
Yeah.
want to experience that. That sounds cool.
There's
as
not
hell.
really any way to tell because it's so far away, and the light travel takes so
But think
long
about
to-
it. Just
Could you
it's like
imagine
the middle
going
of
home
night.
for
It's
a
like
fucking
midnight.
night shift, and it's like 2 a.m, dark as hell, and she's like, "Snap of your fingers, daylight."
No, but
it would be slower.
you know, it was really cool talking about light.
It would actually
effects,
be brighter.
Natural
wouldn't
light effects. I saw the total solar eclipse 1 year ago 2 years ago
2
today.
years ago, yeah.
And that was I saw a totality in Nashville.
That was today, wasn't it?
And what's amazing about it is 360-degree sunset because it's
Mm-hmm.
overhead. It's just sunset all around.
Yeah.
And hearing animals react to it in natural light,
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
it was really fucking weird.
Ben, do you remember coming over to my house?
Yes.
Yeah, that was cool, and we like watched Rick and Morty shit, didn't we?
Did we afterwards?
I don't
I
remember.
think we might have. I don't remember. I just
was a while
remember
ago.
like driving and also kind of trying to look at it. I'm like, I'm gonna burn my fucking eyes out.
Yeah,
I'm already done with
it's
this house.
fine.
I remember Jordy posted a picture on his Instagram with those glasses that they were selling at the time.
God.
That's the only reason I remember.
Did you see the eclipse, Natia?
I probably did, but like either that or I was somewhere.
Okay.
I can't. I can't. I don't know.
But yeah, I think
somewhere doing a thing that I can't talk about legally.
But
That's confidential.
the biggest thing is, it's like,
No, not 2 years ago. Not 2 years.
Not 2
ago.
years ago.
Wait a second. How
We're
old
a
was I 2 years
law-abiding
ago?
citizen 2 years ago.
but there's,
Yeah, not 2 years ago.
it's definitely something to look
oh, I
at. though.
fucking touched your cookie, God.
Well, I think that wraps everything about up.
Well, I just wanted to say that I think it's interesting how we
Yeah,
found
okay,
multiple.
cool, good.
No, it's fine. It's fine. All right.
Well, on
stopped
that
him
note,
in the middle of a
everyone.
really nice thought.
It's fine.
And now he's just gonna.
No. Did you have something you wanted to say, man? Is there anything you wanted to bring up?
Good episode, guys.
And that's been our episode of the Night Owls podcast. Natia, thank you so much for joining. I hope you had
All right,
a
I guess I'm
wonderful
not
time.
saying
I did. And thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely.
No. It's okay, Ben. You clearly had something more important to say. You were-
Well, everyone.
I have something important to say.
So,
The Amazon rainforest is burning.
Thank you, Peter.
Oh my God.
Now this is an
Stop,
Avengers
Stop,
level
Peter
threat.
talking about environmental change bullshit
Oh my god,
for
do
fucking
you see
3
my
weeks
metal
now.
freaking straw, dude? I freaking love
yeah,
the
Natia is
environment.
drinking coffee with a straw.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, everyone have a wonderful night. Be sure to follow us on Twitter
My
and on
name's Jacob. I get
YouTube.
closer to the mic so I don't get drowned out.
Be sure to subscribe.
Wait, hold on. We need
Leave
to
a
talk
like.
about future things. So, we ordered the stickers.
Hell yeah.
They are currently in production as we speak.
Hit us up for some
We
stickers,
ordered
dog.
125 of them, so that's
Are we
about
selling?
30 per person.
And just if you want.
If you also have ideas for topics, please feel free to DM us, or if you
Yes.
want to be a special guest.
On Twitter, please
We're-
go
Oh,
do the polls.
Jesus
God,
fuck, what
why?
was that?
Jacob,
Follow
what
us
was
at
Jacob,
Night
that's so
Owl
fucking
Podcast.
gross.
It's that
Except
cream
the teaser
coffee.
one.
Everyone have a wonderful.
Wait. Do we want to talk about the Zoom thing? Or
No.
No.
That's behind the scenes.
That's
okay,
behind the
cool.
scenes.
You didn't hear any of that. All right.
Everyone
Yeah,
hope-
shut up.
See everyone. Have a
Fix
good
it.
night.
Bye.
Bye.